So today, today's YouTube discussion, we're going to talk about the divide. We are being divided on all fronts. And yes, it started years ago with little things like Obama getting into office. That was probably the first time I started seeing or noticing the divide amongst Americans. Now, obviously, you had people who voted for him just because he was black. You had people who didn't vote for him because he was black. All right, so we had two idiot reasons for not voting for him. I didn't vote for him because he didn't have enough experience, and I didn't like what he stood for. Not saying he was a bad man, I just didn't like what he stood for. So that was my reasoning. And then people who use common sense said the same thing. Well, he doesn't have the experience. Why is he running for president? Oh, because he's black. Because they were pushing the narrative of him being the first black man. That's why he won the votes, right? Because it was time for a change, so people said. Anyway, this divide now, 2020, right, is insane. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. And with that being said, it's on all fronts, guys. It's political, it's over the vaccine, over the mask wearing, over COVID being real or not. I mean, it's over Trump, right? Over AOC. All of these fucking divisions are popping up at the same time, which is going to cause, nonetheless, a rift. Now, the rift, I feel, is going to lead to civil war down the line. Whether it's next year or 10 years from now, we're going to see it. This divide, if you will, is causing division amongst family members, husbands and wives, friends, co-workers. Brothers and sisters. This divide is serious, guys. It's not something to be, taken lightly, because look what's happening. And we're letting the powers that be divide us. The media is also playing into this divide. Politicians are playing into this divide, right? So with both media and politicians playing into the divide, and we fall for it, where does it leave us? It leaves us with broken family, with broken friendships, right? With broken relationships at work because of the divide. Now, people think that Trump divided us. It wasn't Trump. It was the media that divided us. The media played the narrative that they wanted. The media played the narrative of the other people, if you will, who didn't like Trump, who didn't want Trump in office. So here goes the divide, and the media feeding us the bullshit. Some of us didn't fall for it, but many have. Now, suffice it to say, as preppers, we usually stand in the middle, because we see information from both sides and we make our own judgment. That's part of being a prepper. It's part of reading in between the lines and reading the bullshit. Now, this divide is going to happen well after Trump's out of office. It's going to continue to happen, right? We have Antifa now. We have Proud Boys, right? Proud Boys and Antifa got into it in D.C. over the weekend, and you didn't hear anything. You barely heard anything about it. Not that you didn't hear anything about it. You barely heard anything about it. The crazy shit was the media also reported that it was the Proud Boys starting it. As they reported by Fox News, there was a protest, there was a Trump rally in Washington, D.C., this is the media, and it turned violent. Not that it was a peaceful rally, that it was a rally that turned violent because Proud Boys was there. Never mind saying that the opposition, Antifa, got there later in the night and started their shit. But you guys can watch all these videos if you want on Twitter. Twitter, if you type in DC rally or DC fighting, you'll see a bunch of videos from the rally. Now, like I said before, the divide has been started by the media. Now, the media also played a role in Obama's division, starting with him. And the media is going to continue to divide us with everything that's going on. They're dividing us down the middle with the COVID-19. They're dividing us down the middle with the vaccine, with mask wearing, with politicians. I mean, well, politicians are actually doing it themselves. Biden is doing a bang-up job on his own dividing America. He's going to continue to divide America because he's so not fit for duty, it's insane. But the media doesn't want to report that. Kamala Harris, on the other hand, when she gets into office, because she will, when she gets into office, she's going to divide America even further. That is her agenda. This chick has been talking about what I'm going to do when I get into the office. Not what we're going to do, what I'm going to do. Listen to her language. Now, like I said before, the media has done their job dividing us with Trump, right? So they kept lying about him and his sexual misconduct suits, his Russia probe, right? They lied about him being a racist. They lied about him being xenophobic. They just kept lying. And the problem is, guys, when you repeat a lie enough, people start to believe it. The simple-minded people start to believe it. Sorry, they're easily spoon-fed. You know, you can feed them shit and tell them it tastes like cherries, and they'll be like, I do taste a hint of cherries in this shit spoon, because they're morons, because they refuse to think for themselves. These people want you to think for them, and that's not what I'm here to do. I'm here to let you know you need to think for yourselves, right? The whole lying about Trump, for example, making fun of the reporter who was disabled. Trump repeatedly has made that same mocking tone of every reporter and every politician. It just so happens that this guy happened to be disabled, and they try to attack him on that. But if you look back on all of the people he's made fun of, he used the same tone, hand gesture, and head movement when he was mocking people. So again, they were looking to lie in this guy by fucking nitpicking everything he did. If this motherfucker, Trump I'm talking about, ate a Ritz cracker at a party, motherfuckers be like, look at him, eating a cracker, dropping the crumbs all over the floor. How dare he eat a cracker? This is the left. They're fucking psychos. Democrats are also going to play a huge role in dividing this country even further. Now, there was a politician named Cynthia Johnson. She is a state representative of Michigan. She goes out there to say that, pretty much threatening Trump supporters. You guys could look the video up yourself. I'll put a link to some of the things she said. And she's like, you had enough, your time is up. To the Trump supporters, she's threatening Trump supporters openly. Now, since she made those threats, she has been stripped of her committee, so she's being dealt with, and they're going to look to, I guess, punish her further if they can, or where they can. So my point to bringing her up is that she made this comment, or comments. She's looking to be a pain in the ass, and she's not the only one thinking like that. That's the other problem. This one lady looked like she was in the cups. She was, you know, getting hammered as she was making these comments. She's not the only one that's thinking like that, guys. There are more people thinking like that, and there are more people that are going to come out, politicians, and say this. That's going to further the divide. It's going to further divide us apart. So if we are currently here, we're divided, and that wall, if you will, is going to get bigger or thicker, until we are completely at odds with each other. Right now, we're not so much at odds. No, right now we're at odds. We're at a decent amount of odds with each other, but we can be completely at odds where it starts a civil war. Hence my previous videos of civil war starting in the United States. So again, with the divide, guys, they're making the free choice mandatory to wear a mask. Wearing a mask should be entirely up to you. Taking a vaccine should be entirely up to you. But they're talking about mandatory vaccines and mandatory mask wearing. Biden had already said, my first 100 days in office, I want everyone to wear a mask. I'm going to mandate it where I can. He said that repeatedly now, not just once, a few times. He is looking to bring total control over the American people. People thought Trump was bad. People thought Trump was a tyrant and what you call it, like a Hitler-esque personality. You ain't seen nothing yet. Biden is wooing everybody with his smile and his soft old man look, right? Meanwhile, he's ready to hammer out America with mandations. Amongst the divide, well, now with more division, the vaccine push. So far, I'm hearing people argue, you need to take the vaccine so it protects me and it protects you. So I need to take a vaccine to protect you. That's not how vaccines work. Vaccines are supposed to protect you from getting the virus and spreading it. But if you take the vaccine and I don't take the vaccine, you're already protecting yourself and me, right? So why should I have to take the vaccine? Now listen, guys, the vaccine, the red flag to the vaccine that I failed to mention, there's a few ingredients that they're letting us know what's in it. And then there's a bunch they are not disclosing. They're not telling us what's in it. So if they're not telling us what's in this vaccine, they're not being 100% clear what's in this vaccine, Why on God's green earth should we take this vaccine? Because they said so? That's going to cause more division, because I'm already hearing the term free riders being thrown out there. So the term free rider means they take the vaccine and we get to live the liberties, or continue to live our liberties, because most of America is vaccinated and a lot of us aren't. So they're starting to throw the term, listen to the term, free riders. You might start hearing it pick up a little more. That means we're piggybacking off of those who are vaccinated. Keep that in mind, guys. Anti-vaxxers is a term they're throwing out to make you feel bad and make you look like the enemy. And free riders is another term they're looking to throw out there to make us look like the enemy. All I'm saying, guys, is look it up yourselves. You don't have to take my word for it. Now, here's my problem with the vaccine. The vaccine, first of all, again, has limited data. As I said before, it has less than 6 months of being created. Most vaccines take anywhere between 10 to 15 years of complete data testing and trials. This only has 6 months, and it has less than that trials for people on humans, right? Now, that being said, vaccines are usually for deadly viruses, deadly contagions, deadly diseases. That's what vaccines are for. COVID is not deadly in the sense that it's only killing, in the United States, 1.8% of the people. 1.8%. Heart attacks have a higher percentage rate of killing. Now, people are going to say, well, heart attacks are not communicable. Right, but you can definitely come out with, I don't know, guidelines to figure out how we eat better and exercise and stuff like that to dwindle heart attacks, but they're not doing that. Cancer, AIDS has been out there for decades, and you came out with the COVID vaccine quicker than we've been working on AIDS and cancer. Something's not right. Now someone's going to use the argument, well, it's like they had the SARS vaccine ready and they just took a couple things out and added some things to make it work for COVID. Bullshit, because that still takes years. That doesn't take months. Even with the current technology we have today, you still have to test it on humans, and you still need years of data collection before turning it out. Developing it might be quicker, I'll give you that. But testing it on people and seeing whether it really works, that's the true test. And the efficacy rate, and thank you for that, Kat, what's your face, one of my subscribers. Efficacy rate just means that it's working in the body. Doesn't mean that it's preventing the virus. Doesn't mean that it's stopping COVID. So they use these fancy words to make us look stupid or to confuse us, when in fact, the efficacy rate is complete bullshit. You need an actual proof that it works by injecting people and exposing them to COVID. They're not doing that. So they don't know for sure if it works, because every doctor so far and a doctor on Pfizer board said it should work. Keyword there is should, which means maybe. Now, people who don't take the vaccine, they're going to be attacked. That's coming down the pipe, guys. You're going to be yelled at, you're going to be disrespected, you're going to be talked down to. When you go to your doctor's office and he asks you if you want to take the vaccine, you tell him no, he's going to be like, why not? You'll save lives. You can tell that doctor to go fuck himself. You don't know how many doctors I'm about to tell in the next couple of weeks they can go fuck themselves. I'll probably get in trouble, but whatever, it'll be worth it. Because these doctors are going to try to sell you some shit that you can't, that you don't want to take, that doesn't work. And when you ask them certain questions like, well, how come it was only tested 6 months? How do we know it works? They were never actually exposed to it. When you ask them these questions, doctors will be like, well, oh shit, I don't know. Then you got it. Then they should be able to leave you alone. But you have to have questions lined up for them so that when you attack them with the questions and you make them look stupid, you win that battle, for now. The propaganda on this vaccine is insane, guys. I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen the media cover it the way they do. They have, oh, the first shipment for the vaccine is out, guys. Yeah! And they're fucking rooting for the first shipment of the vaccine being shipped out. Then the first person here in the United States gets shot in the arm with the vaccine and everyone's clapping and pictures are taking. That's propaganda, guys. That's them trying to sell you some shit that don't work. No other vaccine has ever had this attention, ever. Okay, guys, we got the vaccine for the measles. You guys should take it. Okay, you guys have the vaccine for the flu. You guys should take it. All right, you guys have the vaccine for COVID. Get some. Really? That's where we're going with this? We're trying to coerce people into taking it by celebrating it. That's a red flag, guys. Now, how does this all tie into preppers? Well, The prepper community needs to stick together more than ever now. The division's insane. We don't need that division amongst us. Though we do think differently, we do have different ideologies, we should not fall ill to the division that's going on in the United States. This is why I like doing my live streams and interviewing different preppers and getting preppers to know other preppers. The reason why is because we need to stand strong now. Now, yes, there are a couple groups in New York City or in the New York City area that I do not like, and I'd probably never get along with them because those groups are backstabbing groups. Those are the groups you need to be aware of. But as far as us building something, we need to attach ourselves to like-minded people, but like-minded people we can trust. Because there's some groups out there, guys, you should not trust. We need to stick together, but we also need to be careful on who we stick together with. That makes sense. All right, guys, so I'm sorry for this video being so long. I just wanted to get a lot of this shit out because the division in America is only going to get worse. It's going to get a lot worse. And we need to stick together, and we need to stick with our family and friends. So what we think differently, that should be fine. But there should no point be you never talking to your family member because they voted for Trump or because they voted for Biden. That should never be. Anyway, guys, this is the Angry Prepper. Thank you for watching. You can like and subscribe to this channel. You can also follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Tumblr, and Twitter. And also, guys, tune into my podcast channel. Like I said before, I'm putting up more podcast streams for your listening pleasures. All right, guys, thank you for watching.